Hi everyone. Today I want to present a new tool that I developed. It's a DCTL. So the idea is for us to properly or to quickly have access to all the tools necessary for dealing with faded film. Faded film, this kind of film that has predominantly become more magenta or pink-like. Obviously, this is because on Eastman color and all of the chromogenic films, you get to lose a lot of information, especially channel information, because the stability of the dyes and so on and so forth. Obviously, we cannot recover color information, but we can make this so it looks better for access and all of those different purposes. I'm gonna show you how it works. First, we're gonna go to the color page, we're gonna go to the OFX page, we're gonna search for DCTL, then we select the faded balancer OFX. For this, please follow the instructions on the README. It's basically you have to place the faded balancer OFX DCTL on your LAT library, either Mac OS or Windows. Then I like to do this on the enhanced viewers because it gives me a better view of the image, so I'm gonna do this. So first, we're gonna see what's the highest and minimum values of this movie to properly adjust the first setting. That is gonna be this first four settings: fade correction, global shadows, global midtones, and global highlights are dealing with the overall image. In theory, we should be doing fade correction first. So the idea behind fade correction is that it's a contrast and saturation adjustment. So it's basically gonna try to recover all those faded parts, because usually what happens with faded film is that besides the obviously color information that has been lost, they start losing contrast and saturation on the channels that are remaining. So I'm trying to correct that using this fade correction. So you can go from 0 all the way to 100. If you go all the way, you start losing some information. So it's better to check this and to see if none of the channels are going to get like aligned. You don't want them to be flattened, so something like this could be enough for this shot. Then we're gonna find the minimum value. So I think the minimum value could be around here. Then gonna move our global shadows to around like 64. And so you can set here on the parade settings, you can set your reference levels. I try to do this on video levels, because if you start playing with full levels, you may cut something in the lower or higher parts. So we can go here, okay. Then we're gonna find the highest value. I mean, pure white is not a good high value, so let's go find something around here. So maybe this thing, maybe this thing. No, this shouldn't be pure white. Fire is a good indication. So let's go here, highlights, and we go all the way to 940 or a little bit below line 40. So now that we have this, let's find a picture that has maybe a face. Yeah, let's say this one. Now, if you can see here, our red channel is a bit too high compared to the green and the blue one. So what we want to do first is to make the red channel as similar as possible to the green one. So we're gonna do the red shadows first. So you can see here we have this feature here on the green channel, and we have this here as well on the red channel. So we wanna make the red channel as close as possible to this. So we're gonna lower the red shadows here until we get them in the same place. Don't mind about the other features that we have on the red channel. Those are not gonna be lost, but we don't want to deal with them right now. So now we have lowered the shadows. Let's increase the highlight. So you can see if we go all the way to the peak of the green, and they are not matching because these features here should be matching this one. So let's go back. No, let's do this. Let's go back here. So they should be around here. So if we want to match the peak as well, in order to have a pure white output or maybe on the stress, what we could do is just decrease the midtones, increase the highlights, so it starts to get contrast on the higher parts of the image. So something like this. It's gonna take some back and forward, and maybe we'll get something. I think something like this is good enough, because you start to see that we also have another feature here that should be on the same place, and this feature is becoming a bit lower than it should. And also we need to check the shadows now, because they are beginning to be way too low. So something around there, yeah. So now obviously we have a quite better picture, but still need a bit more to finalize this. We could do the same with blue shadows. We could go here and then adjust the blue highlights, and should be around there. So now it's looking way better. And if you want to finalize this as well, we have some channel mixing options. So channel mixing is basically, we can take the grayscale values of the red, green, or the blue channels and start playing with those with a darken or a lighten. So usually the biggest offender is the blue channel, so you can do something like blue darken with red. That's gonna do something like that. It's better for getting rid of this, making the color better, but we can do that. We can do a blue darken with green. That, for the most part, is gonna do a better job. You see here, we had some blue like stains on the body, and if we do a blue darken with green, those are gone, and also we are getting some kind of a yellowish kind of hue that may get better colors out of this shot. Now we go back and forward to the whole picture. You can clearly see that we have make this way better. Before after, and you can see the reds. We had a lot of information of the red channel, and that's being kept, and obviously the green channel information is there. The blue channel, that was the one that was probably lost. Obviously we cannot recover that, not using LUTs and not using color corrections, but we can make it so it works. So now this is a way better representation of the original film. Even if it doesn't have the original colors, we have something that is a bit better. If you find that this is way too saturated or a bit way too contrasty, you can do another procedure afterwards and it's gonna work. In the color space transform, let me do that. You can be way more careful with the red adjustments. So maybe you can do something like this. Let me do the red shadows a bit higher. If you want to preserve those and keep up there, it's gonna be way harder. Let me try to do that. Now, I mean, I will have to do something like, yeah, because I need to do this and then do this. I'll probably have to do this like all the way and then do this. We need to take care of not clamping those values when we are doing the correction. It's a bit of a struggle because the red is way too high. Obviously we want to improve the quality of the output, so it's a balance. We need to make sure that we are not clamping those values to where they will be, but also making sure that we are making the footage look nice. Besides channel mixing, we also have channel copy. We can copy red to green, blue to red. In case you have one of the channels has completely gone, you can copy red to the blue, green to the blue, blue to the green, red to the green, something like that. You have a lot of permutations if you want to fix something either quickly or you want to be really thorough. We also have, in worst case scenario, channel removal. Remove the channel red, remove the channel green, remove the channel blue. Let's check this DCTL. Let me know how it works. If you have any questions about it, if you have any comments, please do. This is on GitHub. My idea is for this to be as easy to use as possible, but it's also giving you a lot of tools to properly handle these kind of films. This should work as well for color cast like blue cast as well, should be easy to handle. Same thing, you will do a global correction, and then you can do as well. Or you can quickly fix this with a channel mixing, just darken with green could work quite good for this kind of things. This is mostly a correction tool. This is not for grading. I don't do grading anymore, but feel free to use it as you see fit. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.